absolutely bombshell revelations about Donald Trump trying to make the Justice Department not only back the big lie, but overthrow the election and the government. All of this enabled by Republican lawmakers. Some of this may sound familiar. I'm going to show you exactly why it's new. Because the New York Times has the goods. They have the evidence. They're reporting that in late December, Donald Trump was secretly pressing top Justice Department officials to join him in what would have been a soft coup, to try to compare this election to those that have been invalidated for other reasons, that there would be wide enough corrupt fraud to somehow nullify it. And this is proven because the Justice Department has these incriminating notes from the call. These are now public today. You can see the notes here. This is damning evidence revealing, really for the first time at this level of internal pressure, that Trump was ordering the Justice Department to say the election was corrupt and leave the rest to me and the Republican congressman. I'm going to read that again because this is evidence we didn't have during, for example, the impeachment trial about this very issue. These are independent notes from within the highest levels of the Trump administration, outing then President Trump for ordering the DOJ to say, quote, the election was corrupt, leave the rest to me and the R congressman, the GOP. It's a level of plotting that has not been found in internal written evidence before. Now, this is the kind of thing that is big, but many people would like to sweep under the rug. Many people in MAGA land don't want this to be the top story tonight, even though it is, because they say, well, it didn't happen. But the reason it didn't happen is because Trump was thwarted. He wasn't good at the soft coup. The DOJ resisted. The Justice Department does not get in the business of overruling elections. But the criminal intent was clear, and I don't use that word lightly. Trying to abuse your public office to fraudulently change the outcome of elections is a crime. Whether Donald Trump ever faces accountability for this is a separate question. Trump also explicitly mentioned a congressman you probably know about, Jim Jordan, as well as others, Congressman Perry and Senator Johnson, as lawmakers that he saw as people that he believed would be in on the soft coup, people who would use whatever sway or power they had in Congress, he thought, to overthrow the rightful winner of the election, the person who's in the White House, President Biden. Trump telling the DOJ those people out there were upset about the inaction of some and said, quote, you guys may not be following the internet the way I do. Again, contemporaneous notes taken at the time. So we have the evidence of the soft coup. We also have other aspects of this that can seem quite ridiculous. You also have the idea that the Justice Department would somehow have the power to do this. Let me be clear. Even a more compliant attorney general or acting attorney general or someone else that Donald Trump might have dragged into government, thankfully, as a matter of democracy, not partisanship, I tell you, thankfully, would not be able to do this because the founders didn't build a system where the people in the White House could flick a switch to cancel elections. I want to get right to it with our experts. I'm joined by Mother Jones Washington Bureau Chief David Corn and former federal prosecutor Barbara McQuade. David, you are a reporter and a journalist. You're an author. You've written books about government corruption. You're an analyst. You are also someone, I'll say this since I know you, who at times other people have said, oh, David Corn is overdoing it. David Corn is being too harsh, too tough on Donald Trump in 2015, in 2016. These are the kind of notes that would seem to suggest that you, and not just you, but people like you, Masha Gessen, warned about this. We've had New York Times reporters who warned about this. We've had professors who warned about this. You were right, according to this note and this evidence. This is exactly what he meant to do. He just couldn't pull it off.
You know, there's little consolation in saying I told you so when our democracy was at risk. It continues to be at risk because he's still the leader of one of the two major parties in this country. You know, we've said this a lot in the last 30, 40 years, Ari, but this literally is worse than Watergate. You know, in that instance, Richard Nixon was trying to cover up an investigation that would go into what his campaign did, a break-in, right? And he asked the CIA to tell the FBI it was national security and they shouldn't investigate. The FBI should call off the investigation. That's what he tried to do, just to stop an investigation. And this is far worse than this. This is about overturning and subverting an election. It's quite clear what he's trying to get them to do when they don't have the power to do this. These notes, they're not audio, they're not video, but they are bigger than the smoking gun tape in Watergate that ended Nixon's presidency. The only thing that's different now is that back then Republicans, including Barry Goldwater, looked at what Nixon did and said, we can't go along with this. Partisanship aside, this is a danger to the country, to our democratic foundation. Now you have a Republican Party that says to hell with all that. The only thing that matters is power and Trump is power, and Trump is our power. And therefore, the story just came out, but where are the Republicans saying enough already? They went along with January 6th. They're going to go along with this. And that's the big difference between Watergate and now. This is far worse to have this evidence that the president tried to shut down an election like we're a banana republic. And yet one party is going to say it's fine. And remember, Nixon didn't get away with it either, right? He tried to shut down the FBI. He failed, and he still was open to prosecution and had an impeachment. So you don't have to get away with it. You don't have to succeed before you're caught and considered guilty.